Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're counting down our picks for the legendary moments from this BBC music programme.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 20, Get It On, T-Rex. Yes, we saw your comments in the previous video, and yes, you were absolutely right. This is a must-see for any fan. This song dominated charts back in '71, so it was no surprise that the band turned up on TotP.
Get it on, bang a gong, get it on.
While the performance itself is phenomenal, what has kept it in the minds of those who saw it happen back in the day was the surprise inclusion of Elton John on piano.
Get it on, bang a gong, get it on.
It's a pitch-perfect showing and a great example of the magic that could happen on this show back in its prime.
Get it on, bang a gong, get it on.
Number 19, Ghost Town, The Specials. Jumping forward an entire decade, 1981 saw this innovative two-tone group grace the BBC stage.
This storm is coming like a ghost town.
Equal parts eerie and compelling, this is another track that frequently comes up when discussing the very best the show had to offer.
Bands won't play no more. You watch fighting on the dance floor.
Though the band clearly weren't too pleased with the show's rules, they still brought the energy in this awesome concert. It wouldn't be the only time the group performed this song on the Beeb, but it's certainly the one that everyone remembers.
This storm is coming like a ghost town. Why must the youth fight against it?
Number 18, Roll With It, Oasis.
You gotta take it time, you gotta say what you say, don't let anybody get in your way.
The Gallagher brothers made their presence known when they appeared on the show back in 1995. This was at the height of the Britpop era, and the lads tore it up, bringing their signature Manchester charm, though not in a way that you'd expect.
Kiss the girl, she's not behind that door.
They didn't have the luxury of singing live that week, and in protest against having to lip-sync, the brothers switched their roles. This clip epitomises the brash nature and swagger that made Oasis famous.
You gotta take it time, you gotta say what you say, don't let anybody get in your way.
Number 17, Our Friends Electric, Gary Numan.
It's cold outside, and the bass playing up on my walls.
The moment we hear that opening synth, we're transported right back to 1979. Numan has wonderful stage presence with his dead-eyed stare that fits his vocals perfectly, but it is perhaps the studio work that made this one an instant classic. The lighting is fittingly moody, and the camera transitions to close-ups of Numan work a wonder. Everything comes together to make this one of the best performances of this song ever recorded.
And now I'm no one to love.
Number 16, Rasputin, Boney M.
There lived a certain man in Russia long ago.
He was big and strong, in his eyes a flaming glow.
Something that is super underrated in a TotP performance is the costuming of its members. If there was an award for the most memorable when it came to that, it would certainly go to Boney M for this televised rendition of their unforgettable and infectious Rasputin.
Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. There was a cat that really was gone.
Viewers at home had never seen anything like it, and whether they loved it or were thoroughly confused by it, they were glued to their screens. Outrageous facials and springy body movements really push this one into legendary status.
Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. They put some poison into his wine.
Number 15, Maggie May, Rod Stewart.
Wake up, Maggie, I think I've got something to say to you.
Some musical performances are really elevated when you can tell the performers are having fun. That's certainly true about this one, and it's been said that booze may have been the cause of it. But despite the tipsy lineup, this performance is stellar and full of whimsy.
I suppose I could collect my books and get on back to school.
Soon they're hopping out of their place and kicking a football around the stage, but it's so easy to get caught up in the joy of this clip. Whether you're a diehard or a casual Rod Stewart fan, it's sure to bring a smile to your face. Number 14, Virtual Insanity, Jamiroquai.
Let me tell ya, hell it's a wild that man can need at all. When things are big, that should be small.
This track has entered a renaissance period in its lifetime as of late, but it could never be as adored as it was back in 1996. Despite not being lip-synced, vocalist JK almost sounds like a pre-recorded track. He's just that skilled. Complemented by some solid camera work and frequent cutting between shots, there's a sweet fluidity to this TV performance. If the periodic screams from the fans in attendance doesn't give it away, everyone was insane for this one. Number 13, Country House, Blur.
So the story begins. City dweller, successful fella. He thought to himself, but I've got a lot of money.
We once labelled Blur's performance of Tender as the most underrated in Top of the Pop's history. But if we were to turn to the topic of their most iconic, it would have to be this.
And now he lives in a house, a very big house in the country.
This happened at the height of the Britpop war between Blur and Oasis, and this round went to Damon and the gang as they reached the top of the charts. Outside of its historic significance, this is just a brilliant show all round, with Alburn's charismatic energy getting the whole ground bouncing around.
In a country, in a country, in a country.
Number 12, Virginia Plain, Roxy Music.
Make me a deal and make it straight. Must I see? I take it.
This performance of Virginia Plain arguably served as the means with which Roxy Music broke through into British musical conversation. The song was Roxy's debut single, so it was this performance on Top of the Pops that could potentially make or break that single's success.
Once we land make believe. Baby Jinx and Acapulco, me all flying down to Rio.
Thankfully, Roxy Music more than proved up for the challenge on this night, presenting a performance that was both visually arresting and conceptually satisfying.
Plus picture shows down the drive-in. You're so sheer, you're so chic. Teenage rebel of the week.
The band's natural artistry doesn't take away from the impact of Virginia Plain as a righteous single, but instead served to amplify just how exciting Roxy Music was back in the early 70s. Number 11, Brown Sugar, Rolling Stones. The Stones were white hot in 1971 when wrapping up their UK tour. At the tail end, they said, why the heck not, and stopped by the Top of the Pop studio to perform this track, Brown Sugar.
Here it wept a women just around midnight. Brown sugar.
It was a special treat because the record it was from was not yet released, so fans got an early taste of this killer track. Anytime the Stones appeared on TotP was a treat, and this one was particularly sweet, thanks to Mick Jagger's wildly energetic performance.
Get down on your knees, brown sugar. How you taste so good?
Number 10, Paranoid, Black Sabbath. This performance was proof that gone were the days of the squeaky clean Top of the Pops.
Finish with my woman, 'cause she couldn't help me with my mind.
Ozzy Osbourne and the gang turned up to the BBC studio in 1970 and shook the foundations of the television show with their song Paranoid.
Can you help me? Occupy my brain.
While the inclusion of this heavy metal band probably rubbed some traditional Top of the Pops fans the wrong way, it resonated with the youth at the time and signalled a change for the show and their future of more diverse music features. It's hard, it's heavy, and it's quintessential Osbourne.
I tell you to end your life. I wish I could, but it's too late.
Number 9, Chirpy Chirpy Cheep Cheep, Middle of the Road.
Where's your mama gone?
Where's your mama gone?
Where do babies are?
Little baby.
You might not all remember this one, but nonetheless it stands as one of the most revered performances in the show's history. Yes, it's startlingly different from our previous entry, but there's something infectiously danceable to this joyful track. The Scottish band Middle of the Road hit #1 success with this 1971 track, and it's not hard to understand why. This performance still has a massive following to this day, standing at an astounding 41 million views on YouTube. Number 8. Careless Whisper, George Michael. You can't talk about British music icons without mentioning George Michael.
As I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor.
Careless Whisper was an inescapable banger back in 1984, and George graced the TotP studio audience with his live feature. George has the fans swaying with this melancholy and alluring anthem.
Should have known better to cheat a friend, waste the chance that I'd been given.
From that iconic earworm sax tune to George's passionate stage performing, you just couldn't replicate it today. It has since gone on to become the most recognised studio performance of this song.
The way I dance with you. Oh.
Number 7. Killer Queen. Queen. Was there ever any doubt that this would appear on our list?
She keeps a Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet.
The band had appeared on the show before, performing 7 Seas of Rye, but this one showcases Queen in true majestic form. The lighting, the atmospheric fog, Freddie Mercury's outstanding stage get-up, it's all just brilliant.
She's a killer queen, gunpowder gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam.
It's a great way to present the Queen package to a home audience without taking away from the studio excellence of the song. It's actually the most viewed Top of the Pops performance on the platform, with a whopping 276 million views.
Recommended of the best, insatiable and appetite. Wanna try?
Number 6. Smells Like Teen Spirit, Nirvana. This one's iconic for all the wrong moments, much to the chagrin of the BBC.
Load up on drugs, kill your friends, it's fun.
Kurt Cobain and the gang didn't take it well when they were told they would not be performing their instruments live and simply miming instead. This was because the TotP studio didn't have the right acoustics for a proper performance. In protest, Cobain sang the song in a bizarre voice, which many have suggested is actually an impression of Morrissey.
With the lights out, it's as dangerous. We are now entertainers.
It's a hilarious moment in TotP history that really got a few people's blood boiling behind the scenes.
I'm a lotto, I'm a vino, I'm a sweeto, Malavito.
Number 5. Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around.
This Welsh superstar made her presence known when she turned up to the show in 1984. It's honestly very hard to choose between this and her holding out for a hero, but this rock ballad is just too iconic.
Now and then I fall apart and I need you now tonight.
It reeks of 80s brilliance, with leather outfits and heaps of hairspray, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Pretty early on into this performance, you'll find yourself swept up and singing along to the lyrics.
Every now and then I fall apart.
Number 4. Wuthering Heights, Kate Bush.
Out on the windy, windy moors we'd roll and fall in green.
Kate Bush is simply mesmerising. Her command of the stage stands almost unparalleled even to this day, so it's shocking that when she performed this song on Top of the Pops in 1978, she was only 19 years old.
It's me, a cafe, a come over, so cold.
Most of us could never wish to match this splendour, but Bush managed to do it countless times on the show. Still, Her debut performance of Wuthering Heights on the show stands as a touchstone of TOTP's most unforgettable performances. Number 3. Your Song, Elton John. While we could very easily pick one of his other TOTP performances, like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road in 1973, there's simply no denying the impact of this appearance on the show.
I don't have much money, but boy, if I did.
People often look to the more bombastic performances on the show as the most memorable, but for many, this somber performance by Sir Elton ranks among the very best.
My gift is my song, yeah. And this one's for you.
It's honest and sincere, which is what makes it so captivating. It also proves that Top of the Pops could serve as a genuinely moving avenue for new music to affect an audience.
And you can tell everybody this is your song.
Number 2. Starman, David Bowie. It's the performance that we named the number 1 greatest in our Top of the Pops countdown, and for good reason.
Didn't know what time it was and the lights were low.
In many ways, Bowie breathed new life into the show and made it must-see television after this performance in 1972.
There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us.
The man behind the Ziggy Stardust name is utterly magnetic in this, singing and strumming with the charisma that only he had. The episode pulled incredible television ratings, meaning many got to enjoy this performance by one of the greatest to ever do it.
Let the children use it. Let the children use it. Let all the children boogie.
Number 1. Paperback Writer, The Beatles.
Paperback writer.
It's wild to think that the Beatles only performed together live on Top of the Pops once. The gang got together after a request from manager Brian Epstein back in the June of 1966. They performed their hit at that time, Paperback Writer, as well as the single's B-side, Rain. Tragically, footage of this event is essentially lost media now, as the BBC lost it years ago. However, in 2019, something remarkable happened. Someone found their own recording of the performance on their telly in a box in the attic. It's not complete, but it's more than enough to remind many of this iconic moment.
It's a steady job, but he wants to be a paperback writer. Paperback writer.
What TOTP song is closest to your heart? Let us know the story in the comments below.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.